wake up in the morning feeling like there's no good reason to get up and face the day. Emptiness is a feeling all humans experience from time to time, and it's not easy to pull yourself away from it. Feeling empty all or most of the time can be a symptom of an underlying condition, such as depression, and you should seek the help of a licensed mental health professional if you almost always feel empty. There are other ways you can try and combat occasional feelings of emptiness, such as writing it down, trying new things, and making new friends. If you do feel empty, it is important to talk to a trusted friend about how you're feeling. Keeping your feelings bottled up can be damaging over time. Sometimes just talking about your feelings can make them go away or decrease. Talk to someone who cares and understands you, or at least whom you trust. It can make a big difference to your life.
Good evening to you and welcome to Finding Answers. Our topic tonight is feeling empty, which is a huge problem because many people do struggle with emptiness and they try to fill the gap in so many different ways. Friends, some try to do that with entertainment, always trying to do something in order to avoid the moment where they have to actually think about life, be alone. But I would say that the solution to an issue starts when we even understand where the issue is coming from. For you to resolve a problem, you must find the root of the problem. What is the root to feeling empty that brings as a consequence issues such as depression, anger, anxiety, addictions, we could say, among other things? What could be the starting point of this problem? What if I told you that Finding Answers tonight can present to you a perspective as to why this is an issue to you if you are struggling with this? Do you feel empty? Do you appear to be one person before friends, before your co-workers, before your boss? You even come across as someone very confident, someone full of energy, a bubbly personality, but you who know yourself better than no one else know that this is just an act, that you are nothing like what you express to others. Maybe you became very good at it, at putting a mask, and but that's just a facade. So what would be the root? We're going to talk about it. But before we explain about the root, actually, I would even like you to contact someone if you know anyone that struggles with feelings of emptiness. You could send an SMS, you can call this person, tell them to watch Finding Answers right now, because we're going to watch the story of this young lady called Jasmine. And she struggled with emptiness. And when we come back after her story on how she got help, she got inspired to overcome this issue, we will be speaking about what causes emptiness and what you can do about it. Don't go anywhere. Let's watch her story.
Before I came to God, my life was like a complete mess. I was looking for something in the parties. I was looking to belong, and I used to go with my friends, and with that same group of friends we would then go out and we would terrorize people, we'll beat people up for literally no reason. Because I grew up quite aggressively, so I would also have my own fights where I wouldn't even want my friends to get involved. It was usually with girls, to do with guys, and especially when I felt like they were disrespecting me, then it would become a really big thing. I even put a girl in hospital once, and that was like the worst moment because they barged into my house looking for me, and my family were just really scared. I also used to steal. I used to steal quite a lot, and I would steal and I would sell everything for half price. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night at all. I would then have to go to school and sleep at school to compensate for the sleep I haven't had. Only when the sun came up, then I might be able to get a few hours in, but that was me every single night. I was always scared. And when I could, I would watch pornography until I could go to bed. And if I couldn't, then I would just do it during the day. And I did that for like 7 years. And it just changed the way I saw people. And that was my life before I came to God. My life has changed a lot. I don't watch pornography anymore. That was one of the hardest things to stop doing, but it was one of the first things I did stop. I don't fight anymore. I don't go to parties. I don't look for happiness in places where I know I'm not going to find it. My family's changed. We've come together. A lot of things have changed. Even my finances has changed as well. I managed to buy a car that I really love, and something it's always been the car I wanted as my first car. I also got a really good job, and there's progression for my career, and they're offering to pay for my studies as well, so everything's going really well.
So you see how faith is such an important element for someone to be completely fulfilled. This is the reason why you simply won't be able to resolve the issue of emptiness with external elements such as money, buying things, or being with a positive group of people, which of course is a good thing, but it doesn't really resolve the issue. Why? Because the issue is within. You don't resolve an issue within with things without. You need to work from the inside out. So as I was saying before Jasmine's story, what is the root cause of emptiness or feeling empty? The truth is that we are a creation, a product of the Creator. The Creator is God. And when He designed the human being, there is a part of it called soul. We have a body, which is evidently what we see every day in the mirror, but we also have a soul. You have a soul, I have a soul, which is the part of us that we don't see. However, it is extremely important because this soul is connected to your emotional state. It has everything to do with your mood. It has everything to do with your inner strength or the lack of it, your confidence or the lack of it. And when God created a human being, He didn't design us with a soul for the soul to be completely dissociated from God. It's like a piece of the puzzle. There's a right piece for that space. You can't fit anything in there. You can't fill the gap, in the shape of a square with a circle. There will be gaps. In the same way, you can't be completely fulfilled and satisfied without having God's presence inside you. This is extremely important for you to understand. And that's why, for instance, some people appeal to alcohol, others to arts, movies, plays, others even to drugs. And there's a high, but then there's a low. And the void continues, and the frustration ensues because a person can be filled for a moment, have that happy moment, but followed by a moment of emptiness, a longer moment of emptiness, because everything comes to balance. So how to resolve this problem? I would say by getting closer to God, which doesn't mean that we have to get all religious. Actually, to speak a little bit about getting closer to God, I'm bringing also into the discussion Pastor David, who is joining us this evening. Good evening, Pastor David.
Good evening, Pastor Edward.
So we're talking about feelings of emptiness. And evidently, Pastor David, I don't believe that someone can be completely fulfilled, completely happy without getting closer to God, without having the presence of God. We are not that strong.
It's true. It's like people are trying to drink water from a dirty cup that's inside is dirty. No one will drink. It doesn't matter how clean the outside can be. You will never drink the water if the cup inside it's dirty. So most people, they try to look for things to fill up their heart, but it's already dirty because of the grudge, because of hatred, because of the society problems that they have, because of the difficulties, the problems. So the first thing you have to do first in faith is to cleanse yourself, to remove what is dirty, so that then you can fill yourself up with the power of faith, with the presence of God, because He's the only one who can do that for her.
Yeah, actually, you're bringing up an interesting point. The feelings of emptiness can also come because I am filled with the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
I'm filled with the wrong things. I can be filled, for instance, with the negative thoughts. I can be overwhelmed with the idea that nothing will ever change. Actually, which is a very easy thing to do, right? Because all we need to do is to, for instance, read the news and get in touch with what's going on in the world. It's much more negative than positive. If we stuff ourselves up with negative things, evidently we're not going to be feeling fulfilled.
Happiness will not come because you read problems and you are going through problems and you find yourself in a situation where it's only, the troubles of life, is that pressure, the stress of life. Life can be very stressful. And if this person doesn't know how to handle her stress, it's going to be normal that you're going to try to fill up yourself with something. The problem is that what you put in, as you're saying, news, newspapers, all of these kind of distractions, drugs, alcohol, friendships, boyfriends, girlfriends, filling up themselves with all of these things can bring a sense of emptiness. It can bring to you, in the moment that you are there enjoying, it can be fine. But then when you go by themselves at home at night, it's a problem.
Yeah, and there's always that time where we have to come home when the party is over, when the high finishes, when the effect of the alcohol is also finished. So Edward, maybe you say, what are you talking about? So I have to live isolated from everything and everybody? Come on, I have to know what's going on in the world. That's not what we're saying, evidently. I also like to be in touch what's going on in the world. However, I make sure that I also have a connection with God. That is to bring the balance. If you feel empty, the negative is outweighing the positive. So you need the positive to bring things into balance. What is the positive? The best way to add weight to the positive side of the scale is to have a connection with God. Let your soul connect with God. Let your spirit connect with God. How do you do that? Well, there's different ways. For instance, you connect with His Word. We're going to actually pray. Prayer is an important part in our relationship with God. Towards the end of tonight's episode, would you like to get a prayer? Call us now. The number appears on the screen, 0207-686-6300. You do not have to feel empty this weekend. You can make a difference. It might be just one phone call away. Why not get help? There are trained advisors standing by right now to take your call wherever you are watching, finding answers. Don't go anywhere. We have to go to a break now, but we have here a live guest, Jahcinta, who has a very strong experience to talk about, an experience with the power of God, with the Spirit of God. And when we come back, we will be listening to what she has to say after this.
And my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively. But the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort, and homework from you.
Work it, make it, do it, makes us harder, better, faster, stronger.
My Channel TV, featuring a kaleidoscopic daily dose of programming. Stay with us every day and explore politics, economics, science, technology, lifestyle, culture, sports, and much more. We're here to amuse you, to keep you updated, and to keep you company. We're My Channel, your channel on Sky 203.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Tonight we're talking about feeling empty. And I want to tell you that you can still watch previous episodes of Finding Answers, for instance, via YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. All you need to do is to look for Finding Answers, find our channel, where you can find episodes about, for instance, addictions, depression, love life matters, family issues, mental issues, different situations, different problems, and how to overcome them, okay, through a very inspirational message backed up by testimonies of people who actually overcome life's very tough challenges through the power of faith. And since we're talking tonight about feelings of emptiness, Christy, one of our producers, she went around the streets of London to get some opinions on what people think about tonight's topic. Let's see what the people had to say.
It's Christy here on Finding Answers, and tonight's topic is, do you feel empty? Sometimes circumstances in life prevent us from reaching our goals, leaving many people to feel empty and unfulfilled. So being fulfilled is an important thing, but what exactly would make you feel fulfilled? Well, let's see what the public have to say. What makes you feel fulfilled?
Being happy, being around people who are happy. Doing a job which is useful for somebody, feeling quite needed by people. That makes me feel fulfilled, yeah.
Well, for me, I feel like it's achievements that keep coming, that I've worked hard for. Like, obviously, I've put a set goal, and once I got that goal, I know a little bit of me just got a lot bigger, just feeling embraced that I've done something with my own back, that I've worked hard for it, so yeah.
Going out and enjoying myself, seeing friends, family, you know.
I think making a difference and having loved ones around you, feeling how you feel.
Same, I just think if I'm happy and I'm happy with what I've become and what I've achieved, then that's my life goals, really.
Which is more important, to be ambitious about doing what you want to do to be happy, or being ambitious in the terms of making money?
Well, a very good question. I would say ideally you should look for a combination of both, right? Not that money, of course, evidently it is far from being the most important thing, but it's important. And if you can find a way to conciliate both, to have your career where you can provide for yourself, at the same time doing something you enjoy, wow, that's the best case scenario. right? And I think it's important to have this balance. If you cannot conciliate both, find time, of course, to do what you like, to develop something you love to do. You don't want to suppress that. At the same time, of course, it's important to do well at work, to excel at work too. But ideally, I would say, try to conciliate both. Try to join both. You know, work with something that you enjoy doing. That would be, once again, the best case scenario, okay? Anyhow, we're going to speak now to our live guest, Jahcinta, and she's going to tell us how she was able to overcome the emptiness she felt through developing a closer relationship with God. Let's see what she has to say.
Pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Okay, Jahcinta, welcome to Finding Answers.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I would like you to speak about the issues that you had previously when you didn't have a strong connection with God.
Well, previously, I would say that I was very empty inside, and it began after my mum died. I was only 6 years old, and it was a big shock because she was healthy, you know, there was no signs until all of a sudden she caught a cold, and she just did not have the strength to overcome it, to be well. She was depressed, and ultimately she died. So that was, you know, a big blow to my life, and I thought after losing her that nobody else in my life would love me as she did, and that made me extremely sad. And as a result of that, I became very rude in my attitudes. I didn't like to listen to anyone. I did end up moving in with my dad and my stepmom at the time, but because everything had changed, you know, I couldn't celebrate Mother's Day anymore. Christmas wasn't the same. Even our first Christmas after my mum died, actually, I didn't receive any Christmas presents, and I was distraught that day. That was the realization that my life would never be the same ever again.
Because one of the things that I was saying, Jahcinta, in the beginning here, I believe you were listening, is that there's a certain part of us that can actually only be filled with the presence of God. In the same way, you know, God created a family. To begin with, He is family. He is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So, not having your mother, evidently, it makes things way difficult. Then again, there is that role that is to be fulfilled, you know, for the mother, right? Doesn't matter if it's a son or a daughter, in your case, being the daughter, but you missed out, right, on so many things. And how was the relationship with your dad and your stepmother? Was it difficult, complicated?
It was very difficult. They argued a lot. They were violent. And coming from a Caribbean background, you know, they were loud with it as well. They wasn't discreet with their differences. They were loud. They would argue 2 o'clock in the morning, waking us up, and you know, it was a terrible period. But then that lasted a year and a half, and then I moved away from my stepmom, and it was just myself and my siblings and my dad. But then he fell ill, and then he died. And this was...
How far apart?
This was 4 years apart.
4 years
apart. I was 6 when my mum died, and 10 when my dad died. And that was it for me. I didn't want to live anymore after that. I literally started to have suicidal thoughts at the age of 10, just so I could join my parents and not exist anymore.
But you didn't die.
No.
You kept living. Talk to us then about life after the loss of your parents, almost like back to back. You were still a child, and what problems ensued as you were going into your teenage and adulthood?
Well, because of that, I didn't really talk about how I was feeling. I had a big family. I have 11 siblings, but I never felt that I could open up to any of them to explain to them how I was feeling, you know, because I was really down, I was really depressed, but I felt I couldn't tell anyone, teachers, other family members, I didn't tell anyone. And I delved into TV. I was literally addicted to television because I would lose myself in the fantasy of TV because it would help me to forget my reality. So literally I would watch TV until all hours of the morning. Mm-hmm. I tried to be, you know, cool with friends and things, but I didn't have any confidence, and I would compare myself to the girls that I used to hang around with because they were thin, they were pretty, they had nice hair, and at the time I had dreadlocks, so I couldn't style my hair the way they could, I couldn't wear makeup the way they could, so that made me lack confidence big time. All my friends were having boyfriends, they were losing their virginities, and I wanted to join in, I wanted to be a part of that as well to make me feel some type of belonging or happiness, but I just did not have the confidence at all. So I grew up just really sad, really, not having that self-belief that I could achieve things. I was good at school, but then, you know, I just didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe I could be worth anything.
So in order to try to fill the gap, you used TV.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people end up doing, right? Either TV or the internet, or, as I was saying before, just hanging out with friends and things. But there is nothing that will actually make us have the sense of peace 24/7 but the presence of God.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, Jahcinta, and I believe you will agree with me, because now you have an experience with the power of God, that it's like settling for less.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
People don't have to be settling for just, oh, I'll never be actually happy and this is the best that I can do, just watch TV the whole day, get depressed, sleep as much as I can, or go out of my house as much as I can, or whatever. Because there's a better way to deal with the problem, right?
Yeah.
Than just to mask it or to live with it, right? I think, viewer, and we're going to talk more after the break. We have to go to a break now. But there's a way for you to get the healing. You don't have to live. You have to understand something. You're not the problem. The problem is the problem. Don't say you are the problem, like, oh, this is who I am, I'm part of the problem, I'm an addict, I heard that this is who I am and I'll never change and I just have to accept who I am. Okay, yes, you are your personality, you have your identity, but you're not a problem. You're not the problem. I'll say again, you are not the problem. The problem is one thing and you are another thing. Maybe you have the problem, it's there, it's connected to you, but it's not who you are. There's a way for you to cut the ties with this problem. Then again, God, through the intervention of the Spirit of God, you can do that. And once again, when I speak about God, I'm not saying that you have to get all religious, because I know that you turn to religion at some point, right? We're going to speak about that when we come back. Or that you have to change the religion that you are. We're not talking about religion. I'm speaking about God. How can you talk about God and not talk about religion, Edward? We can. We can, because God is not a religion. God is a spirit. God is a power. And you can learn how to connect with this power. If you would like to get more understanding on what we're talking about, give us a call. You can call now, because we have, once again, I say to you, advisors standing by to take your call. We're going to go to a break and come right back with Jahcinta telling us more about her story and how she overcame.
thinking about making some big changes or setting some ambitious goals for yourself. Maybe you want to lose 20 pounds or read through the Bible. Maybe you want to run a marathon or repair a broken relationship. Whatever your big goal is, the temptation is to expect to go straight from here to here, or from here to here. The reality is, there are a lot of small steps between big decisions and big results. Challenges and obstacles await. At some point, you might even want to quit. But stand firm. Don't be disappointed with slow progress. Don't be overwhelmed by the destination. Rather, focus on what you can do today. Skip dessert. Read a chapter. Go for a run. Make a phone call. The more difficult the journey, the more rewarding the destination. And it can all start today with just one small step.
The pursuit of happiness. What will make you happy? Success? Fame? New shoes? Financial security? Love? Education? Independence? Family? Sometimes in the pursuit of things we think will bring us happiness, sometimes we fail to see that we aren't happy, or we never find it. We live in a world of people. Rather than pursue things to make you happy, what if we all worked to make each other happy? Wouldn't we all be happier?
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Our topic tonight is feeling empty. And if this is an issue you are dealing with or someone you know is dealing with, so keep watching because we believe you will get inspired. By the way, I have a glass with water here prepared right in front of me, and you could prepare one too, so that in the moment of the prayer, which is towards the end of the program, we will be praying on your behalf. We'll be asking God to energize this water through His power so that it becomes to you like an energizing, drink, something that will energize your spirit and your soul, right? So that will be done towards the end. But I'm speaking here with our live guest, Jahcinta. So, Jahcinta, you were a child, you lost your parents, both were dead by the age of 10, grew up. Who then did you move in with when you were 10 and your dad passed away?
Another stepmom, because I came from a certain religion that my dad had numerous partners, right? Yeah. So I moved in with my eldest sister and her mum.
So as a teenager, a young grown up, how was your life?
It was very difficult. It's difficult anyway for teenagers growing up in society, but even more so because I was full of hatred inside, depressed, down all the time. And a worse point in my life was when I had a fight with my sister, and it was a physical fight. And I really envisioned killing her because, as I said before, I was the type of person that turned really rude, didn't want to listen to anyone, and I held grudges inside of me. Anybody that did something that I didn't like, I wouldn't forget and I wouldn't forgive. And my relationship with a particular sister was really bad. I don't even think until today she realises how much I did not like her, but my hatred towards her was quite strong. But ironically, she was the actual sister that brought me to the help centre, which transformed my life.
Yes. Before we speak about that, so you didn't have anyone to speak with. You didn't open up to anybody.
I had loads of people I could have opened up to, but I chose not to.
And ostracizing yourself when it came to not speaking about the issues didn't help you, right? Because it's another thing it's important to mention, that if we're having an issue that we are not being able to handle it all by ourselves, then we have to look for help. There's no shame in that. There's no weakness, just as long as you are opening up to someone who can help you. You shouldn't open up to just anyone. You shouldn't open up to someone that you're not even sure if that person may use that against you. But if you want to speak to someone who can help you, then that's a completely positive thing. And you were also mentioning that your dad had a religion. You ended up following that religion.
Yeah.
Did that religion help you find the answers that you needed?
No, and I desperately wanted it to, because obviously I wasn't happy continuing living my life the way it was. So I really wanted help, but...
So you didn't find God in that religion?
No.
It didn't lead you to God?
No.
So if religion didn't work for you, Jahcinta, then what did?
Faith, self-belief. As I said, my sister brought me to the help centre, and it was a place where I truly learnt to have a relationship with God. And I didn't have a physical father, but I learnt that I had a heavenly father and somebody that wouldn't judge me, because that was one of the reasons why I didn't open up to people, because I thought that they would judge me, that they wouldn't understand where I was coming from. But with God, I felt open, to tell him how I felt, to tell him how I wanted to change, and he gave me the strength, he gave me the self-belief to take actions towards that.
Developing a relationship with God, as you said, he empowered you also to have the self-belief, right, that you needed in order to overcome the issues with emptiness.
Yeah.
So this is the way that it works. The Spirit of God creates in us, when we turn to him, right, as we learn about God, as we get closer to him, he lends us the faith, the faith that really works, the faith that empowers us, that creates in us the self-belief, because both are equally important, right? Because if we believe in God, but we have serious self-doubt, this belief in God doesn't take us anywhere. If we have all the self-confidence in the world, but we do not include God in the picture, we are not going to be fulfilled. We may even do well in one or two aspects, but we are going to fail miserably in others, because no one is so strong as to build life strongly all across the board, in every aspect, without God. As said in the beginning, he created us in a way to connect with him, to have a relationship with him. So by developing your relationship with God, since you learned about faith, right? You said it was the very sister that you used to resent before that ended up bringing, because she was also seeing change by learning the power of faith.
Because one of the annoying things about her is she always used to lock herself in her bedroom. But in this place, there was a youth group that they had there, and she was a part of the youth group. And I saw her there singing and having fun, and that made me have a complete different outlook on her. And when I saw the changes inside of her, I thought, okay, I'm going to give this place a try. Yeah.
So Jahcinta, now you already spoke about you have a relationship with God, you have the self-belief that is required. What else do you have? How is your life today?
I have confidence, and I have a belief that everything is possible with God. You know, He has my back. He supports me in all things. And as long as I'm faithful to Him, I know that He will guide me and lead me to achieve great things in life. And I believe that strongly. And I am, you know, I've been a part of the Help Centre for over 10 years now. And I've seen improvements after improvements in my life. And yeah.
Do you still struggle with feelings of emptiness?
No.
Depression?
No.
Suicidal thoughts?
No.
Hatred? You hate your sister?
No. We're very, very close, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And today you are even an advisor, right?
Yeah.
In people who you know come to Jahcinta today, asking for advice with feelings of emptiness, and she who came to get help today is offering help. This is the work that the Spirit of God does. He wants to do this work in your life. But you have to believe. It's not automatic. God is a very polite being. He'll never come barging into your life if you don't ask. But a simple request, a simple attitude of humility to say, God, I want to find out who you are. I need to, because I tried by myself and I'm not making it. Do you feel that you are sinking now? You are going down and nothing you have tried so far has broken the fall. You don't have to continue going down. You don't have to continue falling. You can stop falling and find the strength in the way up. Let God guide you. This program, Finding Answers, actually, the way I see it, it's like God is stretching out His hands and saying, let me help you. But He won't force. If you take His hands like Jahcinta did, and many people that we bring here night after night on this program, He will help you. He will not, don't think, oh, but there's people who are worse off than I am. Yeah, but there's people who are better off also. Don't keep comparing yourself to those who are worse off. Look at those who are better off and become better off yourself. Become a better you. God is willing to help you, okay? Once again, if you would like to speak to someone right now, wherever you are, we have people watching us from Ireland, we have people watching us from different parts of the UK, we have people watching us from Wales and other countries in the world via internet. So wherever you are, you can call if you have access to a phone, 0207-686-6300. You can also send us an email. We have an email address, which is help@findinganswers.tv. Okay, I want to thank you, Jahcinta, for sharing with us this inspiring story. Okay, it's evident that the power of God has worked and changed your life, the life of your family, right? Actually, it's 3 sisters. It's you and 2 more, right? And they are all connected to God today. Very good, okay? Very well. We're going to go to a break. Pastor David is coming back again. We're going to talk a little bit more on how to overcome feelings of emptiness, and also we will be praying together. Prepare your glass with water. We'll be right back.
here, DKW, a different kind of woman. So I want to find out if you might have dyslexia.
My memory's not too good today.
And it's almost like you have to be this superwoman.
Years and years ago when I watched Titanic, and obviously My Heart Will Go On came on, and it just brought me back to that time.
And I was with 4 other sisters. Lord have mercy. So you know how they were. You're not gonna go over there and say nothing?
Come on, a little closer now, and let me know that you're mine. Woo!
It's going to be your turn to do your macaroons. No competition.
We're here at Britain's Top Designer 2015.
This is DKW. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Hi everyone, I'm James.
And I am Helena.
Join us here every Saturday at 3 p.m. for Love Talk,
the show that teaches you how to love intelligently.
On my channel, Sky 203.
See you there.
Love Talk on my channel, Sky 203, every Saturday, 3 p.m.
Follow my channel's updates on Facebook. Like your favorite videos and see pictures of your favorite artists. Access our Twitter @MyChannelUK and get to know what's on with My Channel. Visit tvmychannel.com and be connected to our world. My Channel, a whole new world of entertainment.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. We are coming close to the end of tonight's episode, and we'll be praying together very soon. But before we do the prayer, speaking now to Pastor David again. Pastor David, I think, for instance, I was thinking here, imagine if a person would go to an excellent restaurant with a very good executive chef, but then they would go to that restaurant and they would only order tap water and drink the water and leave saying this restaurant is very mundane, it's very ordinary because I went there and I didn't see anything special. Well, they only ordered tap water. They should have tried, other things. So it's the same when someone, maybe even the viewer says, but I tried prayer. I tried God, I prayed. And nothing happened. No, it's not only prayer. There's a way, even when we say pray, there's a way to pray. There can be a prayer that's very cold, that's just reading words from a piece of paper. It's like sitting down in front of someone, and imagine if I was trying to have a conversation with someone by reading what's in the paper. Hello, how are you? I mean, very artificial, very distant. Connecting with God has to do with sincerity, has to do with believing, practicing, learning from Him, practicing faith. And when people do that, it is impossible, I would say impossible, for their life not to change.
It's true. For example, Pastor Edward, when you go to become a doctor, you have to go through a serious school, and you have to do a lot of exams, and you only be qualified as a doctor when you do the test. So people think just because they pray that they are qualified to receive from God whatever they ask. But that's not truth, because what qualifies you? What have you done to deserve that? Going to a restaurant and asking just a tap of water and say that the restaurant's not good at all, as you're saying, is the same that God does not answer me, but have you qualified yourself before Him? Have you given Him the proper, did you pass the test? Because, if you go to school, you only graduate if you do your test, because if you fail, you never get there. It's like the driving license. So many people struggle to get the driver license But you can only drive once you have it in your hands.
That's absolutely. It would be even unfair in this case where the scenario we're talking about, where someone will go and leave the restaurant saying a lot of bad things about it when they only ordered water. Don't you agree? So it's the same. It would be unfair to make assumptions about God when you, as Pastor David is saying, did not even go deep enough. Because there is no example in the Bible, Pastor David, of someone who the Bible says, oh, this person prayed a lot and received everything by that. No. We even have the example of Abraham, right? Who is called friend of God, but his faith was tested. Everything in life requires a test. If we want to find out if you like a certain food or not, you have to try. If a certain cloth will fit you or not, you have to put it on, you have to try. And in the same way, faith is something that has to be tested in order to be approved.
We have the example of the testimony tonight. You know, she believed in God, but nothing happened before. But when she learned to use her faith in the proper way, she overcame her problems. And today she's here to testify that God changed her life. So the same happens to this viewer if they believe, if they give God a chance truly for Him to do what He has to do. And it's not, as you're saying, and you always say this, it's not we are not offering you religion. We are trying to teach you how you can receive from God the miracle, the change of life that you are looking for through faith.
That's right. You know, actually, it has nothing to do with religion. We're going to pray. Now, let me tell you what it has to do with. It has to do with you believing. For instance, believing in what way? But I believe. But it's not like that. For instance, almost 16 years ago, I met my wife. I got to know her. She got to know me. And one day I told her, do you want to marry me? I'm letting go of everyone else to stay just with you. What is that? That is believing. I believed in her. I married her. I didn't say, oh, let's not marry. Let's just be together because I want to try others. I wasn't in doubt. I was willing to let go of all others that I could choose to be with one. That's believing. So when you say you believe in God, it's the same. It's you finding out who He is you saying, I trust my life in your hands, but I want my life to change. I want to see what you promise happening to me. But I also, in return, I'm willing to put all my trust in you. This is what the requirement is. In the measure you surrender is the measure you get. As you give, you receive. If you are not receiving anything from God, you're giving Him nothing. You may be praying, but you're giving Him nothing. You're not trusting in Him. You're not learning from Him. But the moment that you change that, your life changes. And you can do that even in this prayer. It's the moment of prayer. Let's join our faith.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer concerning your family and loved ones, send your name and prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
My Lord and my God, I ask you right now, as we have been saying throughout this program, that when this person truly believes, with all her heart, with all her soul, her emptiness will be filled. She will not need to go around in circles looking for things to fill her up. Many people spend money buying clothes, others they go in drugs, others go and they try to find friends in social media just to try to fill up that emptiness they have inside. But the truth is, my God, if this person that is taking part of this prayer with us, if she believes where she is right now, where he is in this moment, I know that you can touch this person now and you can fill this emptiness with your presence. Like we will drink from the water, and when we drink these waters, we feel our thirst being quenched. The same, my Father, I ask you, let this emptiness be filled with your presence, with the faith, with the belief, with the assurance that she and he can turn their life around, that there is a solution, there is a way out for them. Lord, this is what I pray. And I believe that through this prayer, through this water, you will touch this life. And this life, my Lord, will never be the same. Because through your power, through your greatness, this life can change. And I know if she or he believes right now, I know that they will receive your presence, and the emptiness, my God, will be filled. So consecrate this water right now in Jesus' name. And if you believe, drink from your water with faith that the presence of God is going to touch you now wherever you are. In Jesus' name. Amen.
So, dear viewer, if you believe, if you prayed with us, or even if you just received this prayer and you believe, your life has already begun to change. Mark this date. This Friday night is the beginning of a change. A new day will arrive soon with new possibilities. It was a pleasure being with you up to now. God bless you. Good night.